Hello and welcome to 2021.1.1 release. I'm Kapil from Professional Services. Today we will be talking about the platform related changes. We have following agenda and we will be going through these topics individually. The first on the list is improvements in the configuration of business events and notifications. Business events and notifications have been added to the tool menu of the screen title bar of entry screen. For example, invoice and memos, customers, sales order screen, we can see that option is available when we click on tools. So when we go to this screen invoice and memos, when click on the tools, we can see that the notification and business events are available. Let's go to the system and check this. I am on the invoice and memo screen. When I click on tools, I can see that the notification and business events are available. Similarly, on the customer screen, when we click on tools, both the options are available, notifications and business event. Similarly, on the sales order screen, when we click on tools, we can see that the notification and business events are available. Viewing notifications. To view the notifications that are specified for the selected data entry or GI, the customizer can click Tools and Notification on the screen title bar. In the notification window, which opens, the customizer can view the notifications that are configured for that specific screen. For example, when we click on the notifications, we can see that in this case, there are two different notifications available, AR invoices. If we click on this AR invoice notification, it will open the notification template where we will be able to see the details like how it has been set up. Further, moving to the viewing notification, we have mobile notifications. We can also create new notifications by clicking create in the notification window and selecting the needed type. Email notifications, push notifications, and SMS notifications can be set up here. Viewing of business events. To view the business events that are specified for the selected data entry or GI, the customizer can click on the tools and business events on the screen title bar. The business event window which opens is shown in the following screenshot. We can click the link in the event ID column in the business event window to open the business event screen for the selected events. So we can straight away click here to open the business event. To view the business events that are specified for the selected data entry or GI, we need to click on Tools, Business Events on the screen title bar and the business event windows which opens. So here we can see like how the business event has been set up. We can also check on the subscriber and the email notifications, etc. Send by event tab on the notification template screen. Customizer uses to view business events that triggers the selected email notification as per screenshot. By clicking the link in the event ID column on the tab, the system opens the business event screen for the selected event. We can also create an event by clicking create business event on the table toolbar or add a link to an existing event by clicking add row on the table toolbar. Send by event tab on the mobile notification screen. Similarly, the send by event tab of the mobile notification screen, which a customizer uses to view business event that triggers the selected push or SMS notification. When we click the link in the event column on the tab, the system also opens the business event screen for the selected event. Business events triggered by an action. A new type of business event that are triggered by an action has been introduced in this version. This type of events can be set up if a generic inquiry is used as a source for data monitoring. The following screenshot displays like what changes have been done on the invoice and memos form, as well as on the business events. We have another type included, which is triggered by action. Now let's go to the system and check this. On the business event screen, under the types, when we click on the drop down, we can see the third option available is the trigger by action. Also, when we go to the invoice and memo screen, under actions, we can find this two different options available. That is email invoice reminder all. Key performance indicators, KPI, widgets, and other enhancements. We can add different types of widgets to their dashboards. By using these widgets, users can present information on dashboards in various formats, such as trends, KPIs, tables, etc. In this release, new features called link widget has been introduced. Along with that, we also have the new functionalities of scorecards and meter visualization types. We also have normal type, alarm type been added. In this, the values we can add would be absolute values, percent values, inquiry fields, etc. Key performance indicators widget. Users defining each KPI widget specifies what data will be displayed, the inquiry screen which the data is extracted from, and the particular field on that screen. So in this case, we have the scorecard visualization where we can get this kind of view where the total value can be displayed with respect to YTD sales. The another option to present the data would be like meters visualization, which brings more sophisticated techniques where we have different options and controls. So number one stands for the widget header, the text that specifies in the caption field of the widget properties. The second one is the alarm level, the alarm range of the widget whose lower bound is specified in the alarm level of the widget properties window. The third one described here is the warning level, the warning range, which is automatically calculated by the system based on the values the user designing the widget has specified in the alarm level and normal level field of the widget properties. The fourth one on the list is normal level, the normal range of the widget and upper bound of which is specified in the normal level field of the widget properties window. And the fifth one is the current value. During designing a dashboard, select KPIs in the Add Widget windows. The system opens the widget property window for this type of widget. In this window, the user can specify the properties of the KPI widget. So in this case, we have a normal level type, the type of the value for the normal level. Along with that, alarm level type, that the type of the level value for the alarm level. We also have the visualization type, the type of the KPI widget to be displayed on the dashboard. The following two widgets are available, scorecard and meters. We can also have a different color codes like normal color, warning color, alarm color, and the captions, etc. Applicable scenarios of using the inquiry field options in the widget properties. When we select this option, the inquiry screen selected in the inquiry screen field must contain some values, certain values like numeric values such as amounts or totals. For example, if a company has a multiple salesperson, they have an annual sales quota that must be reached by the end of the year. The inquiry used in the KPI widget must have a columns with the annual quota and the current sales volume by salesperson. So for the fields to aggregate field, the users can select the fields that contain the current sales volume, and in the normal level field, the users can select the fields that hold the annual quota. In the alarm level type field, users can select either of the available options and then specify the alarm level. After the user saves the changes, the system will calculate the levels and display the results with associated colors for the levels. Now moving to the second topic, that is link widgets for dashboards. In previous version, the dashboard designer could not give users the ability to navigate with one click from the dashboard to an MYOB advanced screen or another dashboard. As of this release, a user designing a dashboard can add a new type of widgets, link a widget to dashboards with links to MYOB advanced screens and dashboards. Changes in the Add Widget wizard. In the Add Widget wizard, which is open when a user switches to design mode of a dashboard, a new type of widget named linked has been added as per the following screenshot. Adding a link widget to a dashboard. The user designing a dashboard selects the link type of widget and then specifies the following properties in the widget properties windows. So here in this property screenshot, we can see that icon, form, parameter, description, and captions can be entered here. The subsequent screenshot shows the AR Clerk dashboards with the new invoice links widget in view mode of the dashboard. When a user clicks the link with the pen frame icon and the new invoice description, the system opens the invoice and memo screen for the user to add a new record with the invoice type. Changing the title of an inquiry. The capability to change a GI title on the screen for both predefined GIs provided by MYOB Advance and the custom GI developed within your company. Changes on the generic inquiry screen. The export as a report and change screen ID button has been removed. With this actions becoming a menu command on the action menu, an action menu has been added with change inquiry title, export as a report, and change screen ID menu commands as shown in the following screenshot. So when we click on this action drop down, we can see these three different options available. Changes to the generic inquiry title. Previously, the title could not be changed. To change the title of a GI, a user can now click the change inquiry title menu command on the action menu as described here of the screen toolbar of the GI screen. In the window that opens, the user enters the new title of the GI and clicks OK. If the specified title is not unique, the system displays an error and prompts the user to enter another title. After the user saves the GI screen, the new title is inserted in the new inquiry title field. Ability to configure navigations from a generic inquiry to an external URI. In previous version, on the GI screen, the users creating modifying the GI could configure navigations from GI screen to another MYOB advanced screen. As of this release, on the navigation tab of the GI screen, a user can configure navigations from the GI screen to an external uniform resource identifier, that is URI, with dynamic parameters from multiple columns in a row of the GI result. This ability can be very useful, for example, in e-commerce solutions to monitor items whose state can change. Changes on the generic inquiry screen. To navigate to an external URI on the GI screen on the navigation tab, the screen pane has been renamed to navigation target. So if we check the screenshot on the navigation tab on the left hand side, the navigation target has been introduced. In the navigation target pane, the external URI is specified. So the link is specified here in the navigation parameter table, which is on the right hand side. The field column contains the parameter corresponding to the tracking number from the URI, and the parameter column of the row contains the field of the data access class specified on the tables tab. Navigation target for an external URI. Construct the template of a URI that the user can open by clicking the link in a column of a resulting GI. So when we click on this link, this will open that link. To do this, in the original URI of the target resource, the designer of the GI surrounds the parameter with double parenthesis, and when this user clicks the link, the parameter is replaced by its actual value in the row. the resulting GI screen with the tracking number that are linked as you can see in the screenshot. When a user clicks the link in the GI screen result, the system opens the window with the FedEx tracking information based on the tracking number. Improvements related to a side panel of a generic inquiry screen. A number of improvements have been made that affect the design and display of generic inquiry with a side panel. These improvements are described in detail in the following section. Changes on the generic inquiry screen. Various changes have been made to the GI screen related to the functionality of side panels of GI that have been developed on the screen. On the navigation tab, the screen pane has been renamed to navigation target. The table in this pane has the following columns. We can see here under when we click on the navigations, we can see the navigation target, which is on the left hand side. So we have following columns, that is active, link and window mode. In the right panel of the navigation tab on the right hand side, the settings can be specified for the row selected in the navigation target pane. This pane contains the icon field where the designer can select the icon that the user can click on the side of the panel of the generic inquiry screen to view the screen or dashboard. The pane also contains the following tab where settings can be specified for the row selected in the navigation target. So we have navigation parameters and visibility conditions. So in navigation parameters, this tab contains the same table with navigation parameter as was shown on the navigation tab in the previous version of MYOB Advanced. Visibility conditions. This tab, which is displayed only if Windows mode is set to side panel for the selected navigation target, can be used to specify conditions for the specifications of side panel or side panel tab. Please note, if the navigation target pane contains multiple active rows with the side panel window mode, each of this row is represented as a tab on the side panel. Deactivation of a side panel or a side panel tab. A user designing a GI may need to deactivate a side panel temporarily. For example, while editing its settings, as of this release, this user can easily deactivate a side panel or a side panel tab that has been configured. So we can check or uncheck this button. Reordering of icons on a side panel. The icon in the side panel have tooltips with the name of the screen to be displayed if icons are clicked. The tooltips helps the user to navigate to the target. A user designing a GI can now quickly reorder the icons for the tab in the side panel if multiple navigation targets have been configured to be displayed there. Visibility conditions of a side panel. A user designing a GI can now specify the conditions that must be met for a side panel to be visible. In the navigation target pane of the navigation tab of the GI screen, the GI designer can click any row with side panel selected in the window mode, which makes the visibility conditions available in the right pane. Another exciting feature available in this release is regarding the attachments to GI. For the list of records on a GI screen, a user can attach a file such as a scanned document with signatures and a note, important information for colleague about a customer to a record in previous version of MYOB Advanced. In some scenarios, the files and the notes were attached to a record of a different internal table instead of the record that the user expected. To prevent mismatch on the GI, the user designing or modifying a GI can now select the table to which notes and files will be attached if a user attaches this to the record in the resulting GI. Changes on the generic inquiry screen. In the summary area of the GI, an attached notes to drop-down list has been added. In this list, a user designing or modifying a GI can select the table to which file and note should be attached in the resulting GI. The designer can instead disable any attachments by selecting that not applicable option. In addition to not applicable, this drop-down list includes only the table listed on the relation tab of the GI, as shown in the screenshot. Now let's go to the system and check this. I am on a sales order GI, and these are the tables which the GI is made of. When I click on this attach notes, I can see all the relevant tables which are available in the relations are can be seen here along with the not applicable option. Similarly, if I check customer GI, I can again see the customer GI is made of these tables, and when I click on attach notes, I can see all the relevant tables are available. Attachments of files and notes on the generic inquiry screen. GI has been designed and saved. We can attach a file or notes to any of the listed records, and the file or notes will be attached to the correct record of the expected table. To attach the file or notes, the user can do the following things like click. I will show you when we go to the system. Click the paperclip icon in a row of the grid, then the file windows. The user attaches a file to the record of the table that is selected on the GI. Similarly, the second option is the click the note icon in a row of the grid. Then in the enter record note window, the user attaches a note to the record of the table that is selected on the GI. Now let's check in the system like how this will look like. So when we open this customer GI, we can click here and we have this paperclip option available here where we can select this and attach a note or important information. Another exciting feature, expanded search of system entities and recently viewed records. A user can perform a search within the system by using the search field on the top pane of the MYOB advanced screen. In addition to the previous, following entities are also available like generic inquiries, pivot table, business events, dashboards, etc. When transactions takes more time, system performance is always a concern. The request profiler screen is used to troubleshoot performance related issues in MYOB Advance. In this release, the functionality of this screen has been greatly extended and redesigned, as described in the following sections. Default monitoring. By default, only expensive requests and important exceptions are monitored in the system. That is, the default logging checkbox is selected on the request profiler screen. The system administrator may choose not to perform manual tuning of requirements and to leave this checkbox selected on the request profiler screen as per the following screenshot, where this option has been selected. Troubleshooting of a particular process. Release of a document or import of a document takes more time than usual. The system administrator can troubleshoot the process by turning on the logging of URL request SQL queries. To turn on the logging, the system administrator clicks Tools Profilers on the screen title bar and clicks Start Logging in the profile window as per the screenshot. You can click on the Start Logging. The request profiler starts logging URL request, SQL queries, exceptions, and warnings and errors. We can also import the zip archive to another MYOB advanced instance by clicking import on the screen toolbar of request profiler screen and review the logged information. For the recent issues, we can click export last, the option available here in the profiler window to export the most recent request for the current user's sessions, even if the request profiler was not enabled before the issue occurred. The system administrator reproduces the issue and clicks stop and export in the profile window as shown in the following screenshot. So he clicks on the stop and export. The request profiler returns to the default monitoring and the export a zip archive with the log file that contains information in a different format, that is JSON format, about the performed URL request, SQL request, and stack trace. Now let's go to the system and check this. So I'm on the invoice and memo screen, and if for a certain transaction, if it takes more than the usual time, I can straight away go to tools, click on profilers and start logging. So once the request has been completed, I can stop and export, and a different file has been available in that specific format. Analysis of SQL queries. If URL request monitoring is activated on the request profiler screen, then in the SQL logging section of the summary area of the screen, the system administrator can also turn on the monitoring of SQL queries within the monitored URL request by selecting the log SQL apply filter checkbox. So this is the log SQL apply filter checkbox. We can analyze SQL queries in depth on the SQL analysis inquiry screen. Use this screen to review all information about executed SQL queries, export data to an Excel file, and build pivot tables and diagrams based on this data. All records tab of the screen displayed all information about executed SQL queries. For each record in the table, the system administrator can view SQL details and stack trace on the side panel as shown in the following screenshot. So we can check the side panel and see the details like SQL details and the stack trace over here. Analysis of exceptions. By selecting the log exception checkbox in the exception logging section, we can turn on the logging of exceptions. So this is the checkbox. When we select a particular exception on this tab and then click View Exception Detail on the table toolbar, the system opens the View Exception Detail windows with detailed information about the selected exception. So this is the window. We can export all exceptions from the Exception tab to an Excel file by clicking Export to Excel on the table toolbar. Analysis of events. In previous version, we could turn on the monitoring of event on by adding a specific parameter to the web.config file, which results required restarting of the application. This release adds the ability to turn on the monitoring of event and to review logged information to the request profiler screen. The system administrator can export all events from the event log tab to an Excel file by clicking Export to Excel on the table toolbar. Enhance creation of business event from an inquiry screen. A business event added to tool menu of the screen of a GI. By clicking the command, we can view existing business event based on the GI being viewed and create new business event if required. Creating a business event based on a shared filter. If a particular GI has any shared filters as filter tab, a customizer can create a business event based on the shared filters if its condition suits the requirement of a business event. Creating a business event based on a shared filter. The system opens the business event window where the customizer clicks the create business event on the toolbar. The system opens the create business event window where the user enters a name for the new business event and clicks OK. See the following screenshot where we can select create business event, which opens this pop-up message where business event name can be given. Creating a business event based on a shared filter. Further, the system opens the business event screen with the screen name and screen ID field populated with the values of the generic inquiry for which the business event has been created. Also, the shared filters to apply field is populated with the shared filter that was active when the user created the event. So you can see the highlighted screenshot where the event ID is new open invoices and shared filters to apply has been selected here. Thank you very much for watching this presentation. If you have any queries or concern, please raise it with ProServe. Thank you.